Okay, now just some finishing words to just wrap up this mountain series. Number one, understand that this should cover the basics, okay? There's a whole world, things that can happen, reactions. Eventually, we're going to be filming a mount bottom series, meaning all the different escapes. Understand that this should be just like something for you to introduce yourself in the world of mount. Number two, and this is something that I tell my students over and over, the idea of taking your time. Okay, recognize that you are in a very good position and understand that time is working in your favor, and really not rush the positions because realistically, as I said already many times, your partner will has to use, as a matter of fact, your movements to generate more movement so that he can get into an escape. When you move too much, you're opening too many windows for your partner to get into an escape. Once you get to any of the four control positions, double under, okay, say a single chest rep, whatever the case might be, really time is working in your favor. And the more you hang out in that position, the more your partner will feel the stress and the weight and the overall discomfort of being in bottom mount. And this really can go a long way. And even a relative beginner, if you can get to a position in which can exert a lot of stress on a more experienced opponent, you can really get a tap that you would never, ever, ever be able to get otherwise. So that's definitely a thing that is worth keeping in mind. Another thing is this idea of climbing the ladder. Okay, you really want to think about jiu-jitsu as a ladder that needs to be climbed from the legs all the way to the head, and really you want to go rail by rail. If you jump, you might get it and you might end up on a highlight, you might have a nice Instagram reel, whatever the case might be, but chances are that you're just going to fall to the very bottom of the ladder and your partner is going to recover guard, and an experienced opponent is even going to go straight from a defensive cycle into an offensive cycle, and maybe he's going to attack your legs, or he's going to take your back, or whatever the case might be, or even just maybe stand up and maybe just wrestle you again. So like really emphasize step by step really makes it's really, really important. The other thing that I wanted to briefly touch on is this idea of creating constant dilemmas in which you are controlling all the different outcomes, right? Because this is eventually what will allow you to create a loop. Most of this position, I picked a way of talking about this position that makes sense to me. But if you looked at the instruction a little bit closer, you see that we could have started from any of those positions, and realistically, it ends up creating a loop in which you're in a single chest wrap. Here you go to you can go to double under. In the meanwhile, I lose the near side arm and I can start going far light on this side. Here, now I miss the arm, it brings everything up. And now I'm back into a far lat. I can feed back a double underhook once again. And so over time, this really creates exhaustion in your partner, which eventually is what is going to get you the tap. It's almost impossible to get the tap out of a fresh and relaxed opponent. There needs to be an enormous amount of difference in terms of either skill or weight or just sheer strength. When all those things are equal, the only thing that will get you a tap is really the amount of pressure and stress and fatigue that you can cause to your opponent.